good everyone, Michael Anderson 2 here, back here with another Gran Turismo 7 video. We are at round 9 of the Test Season 2 Manufacturers Cup, driving the beautiful Aston Martin V12 Vantage GT3 car. I'm going to leave you with the sound of this beautiful car coming out of the pits right now. I hope you enjoyed that sound. It was honestly delightful to the ear. Right now we're going to try and make use of this warm-up. 5 seconds left to make use of some third corner. Absolutely butchering it, as per usual. And absolutely ideal warm-up. And as we come to the end here, looking for our target. Oh, hello.
Target spotted.
Right, qualified now. Coming out of the pits, going around turn 3. And as we see, going past our good friend Jeff. He's spun around there. Definitely not what you want to be doing in qualifying, but we're going on to start our first lap of qualifying here. Coming to the end of the big long main straight. As you see, the white lines in the middle of the track is just about 10 metres after is where you want to be braking for that corner. We brake probably a bit too late there, missed the apex quite a lot. And you want to be just going over these curves, trying not to spin out. And there's a little black dot in the centre of the road there. You want to brake at that point, so then hit the curb. And you've got the whole use of the road on the edge here. There's no track limits for that white line, so you can use it as much as you can. Get on the power as early as possible, hitting that curb on the right hand side, and then open up the corner for here, hitting the left inside curb, and midway through the tarmac on the left is where you want to brake for this long kind of hairpin. You can brake a bit later to then get a straighter run to get more speed going up to this corner, but I found going tighter was a lot quicker for me. Again, on the right, halfway across the tarmac, you brake, hit the curbing on the inside, and here you want to try and not wheel spin too much so that the back end steps out, so you can get the power down as quickly as possible. And throughout this, you want to keep to the inside to get as much time as possible. But while you're here, if you want to hit like, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below, that would be greatly appreciated, and there'll be more Gran Turismo 7 content coming to you. As we come to the end of the straight here, you want to hit brakes just after the white line that comes across your screen at the bottom. Trying to hit as always fixed as you can, keep it in the white lines, and for there it was okay for me. I felt like I could have done better. I could have probably hit there's a lot more time to be gained on this lap. Again, trying to keep as tight to that yellow line as possible. As soon as you go further away from the line, you're giving yourself more distance to drive, so it turn makes you slower. So this lap is good, but definitely could be better. And so we come across with a 49.3. We're going to push again for another lap. Here we brake a bit earlier, and it allows us to get really tight. And at this point, I realise I've got maybe a bit too tight. And oh, looks like we have gone straight back, magically gone back to the pits. Who'd have thought it? Anyway, carried on our outlap here. We're behind Coca-Holic here in the Porsche. We're looking to try and get a great run out of this like double bus stop chicane, and just unfortunately cut that corner slightly too much and hand ourselves a beautiful 0.5 second penalty. Now, in qualifying, you really don't want that. You don't want that to be happening. So I've gotten the slipstream here as we have another Porsche. I think that was a Porsche behind. No, gone off to the left here. Penalty. It's slowed us down a lot. As you can see, we've lost a lot of time to the Porsche in front. But actually, that's probably given us more time to actually make up time over this whole lap. And as you see, we're going around this lap now, and we do hit that apex nicely. Don't hit the inside tyres to send us straight back to the pits, thankfully. And we're going to carry on this lap here, hitting the black spot again, hitting right behind Coca-Holic here. Goes a bit wide, and there's another car up ahead that's also wide. Back end stepping out a bit more, but we still seem to be keeping the car under control. As you can see in this first sector, just over a tenth up, so it's quicker. And that's probably just down to turn 1 being hit better than the first lap. But as you can see, the Hungarian driver and the Danish driver going very close to each other there, almost hitting into the French driver there. Definitely spooked me a bit. I thought he was going to go, that would have ruined my day. Back end stepping out like no tomorrow, and you can tell by the second sector we're 11 hundredths off our first lap time. So trying to stay in the slipstream here of the Porsche probably was a bit slower looking back on it now. And as you can see, the exit onto the straight was not good. So we're looking to brake just off the white line. We have the Porsches overtaking the Hungarian driver here. and then colliding, which I don't want to be doing on the qualifying lap. So we go around the outside trying to get outside. Big collision, look to my left, a bit of a touch, and then boom. A massive swipe, it seems, and that was a lap that could potentially have been quicker. Gone in a matter of seconds. I don't have the replay, so I couldn't quite see what happened there. I don't know if the Porsche had like lost control, unfortunately. But as you can see, with only a minute and a half remaining, we're not going to be able to. We're only going to be able to get one lap done here, and not have the best run. And we also then butcher it by ruining the first corner again. So that's ruined that lap completely, and we cross the line in a 1:50, which was not quicker than our first lap. So at the end of the session, we come out in 10th, and with what I had done previously in the warm-up for this race, a 1:48, mid 1:48 was definitely possible. So it's quite sad to see that we were starting in 10th, but it just means that we're going to have a lot of fun, a load of overtakes hopefully. So yeah, the start of the race here. The beautiful Aston Martin here, and line up our front lights, and we're off. Surrounded by Spanish and French drivers either side of us, and beautiful planes looking like fireworks flying over us. So we're into turn 1, going around the outside of the Spanish driver here. Everyone went to the inside, so I went to the outside, and it actually worked out very well for me. Got a Porsche driver in front of us, a Frenchman, looking to his inside. He broke a bit early. We managed to get a nice move down his inside there. It's nicely done. Another Porsche driver in front managed to slow the one we overtook, and also the German in front seems to have a 2-second penalty. So that's we're up to P8 halfway through, about a third of the way through this lap. Made our way up to P8. Looking to the outside potentially of this Austrian driver, but he seems to have a more speed, and the back end wanting to kill us, but not as much as his back end wanted to kill him, and he got sent to absolute Narnia. So that's P7 at the end of the midfield, and the German driver, oh my days, the back end of this Aston Martin really does want to send us to Narnia, doesn't it? But there, so P7 with a 2-second penalty to the German in front, so by the end of this lap we should be in at least a minimum of P6. For a first lap, getting 4 overtakes, P10 to P6 is actually very, very nice. Obviously the Spanish driver behind us still in the slipstream, but as we break into here, we get a nice run, gaining a lot of time, and at that point I thought I got myself a 0.5-second penalty, but I think we kept 1 pixel within the track limits there, so thankfully no penalty given to us this time. So as we're going around the final banked corner here of Daytona, we're going to come up to the penalty line, and the German driver in front of us is going to do his 2-second penalty, and we're overtaken. And up front there's a massive collision, and both drivers have decided that they didn't want to race, they just wanted to push each other off, and we're starting to pick up the scraps of it here, moving up into position 5, overtaking the French driver behind us. We've got another French driver in front of us. Hopefully we can make a nice move on him going into this corner. We do kinda put our nose in. He's left the door open, and another Austrian driver off ahead of us, and before we know it, we're up onto the podium. In a matter of seconds, we've gone from position 6 up onto the podium. Three places in the space of about 20 seconds there. Actually, was not expecting that to happen at all. So for 2 laps worth, or a lap and a half's worth of racing, moving up 7 positions almost, it's actually been a very, very good start to this race, and probably I'm back where I should have been at the start of the race, so it's actually quite good for me. So now we're going around the first of the long bank corners, going almost just in the slipstream of our British compatriot Rouge in front of us. We're obviously setting pole position because it's lap 2, but we're heading into the double chicane now, and he's gone a bit deep, and instead of turning right he decides, yeah, I'm going to just go straight, and that leaves a massive door open for me, and I'm going to gladly take it. And instead of having 7 positions in 2 laps, we're going to have 8 positions in 2 laps, and that's just gone absolutely perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a better start to this race if I'm being very, very honest. So yeah, so the only issue is obviously Santala, the French driver in front, is 4.2, 4.3 seconds ahead, and that's not what we want. But we do set a purple lap on that one, a 49.5. It's very good lap time. I'm very happy with it. And just as we're starting this lap, back end wanted to step out every opportunity. That was kind of like a theme of this race with this Aston Martin. Really did want to step out and send me into either the barrier, the grass, or the Narnia. Another purple lap time there, 48.5, a very good lap. We take this corner quite nicely. But on exit, we do decide that we want to have a snap over here, take a nice old trip to the grass. And yeah, so we're on lap 5 now, and at this point in the race, we have not discussed the fuel. So with this race, there was a fuel element to it, although I didn't know this at this point. And as we see here, I'm flicking through, looking down, and we have 9.3 laps of fuel remaining, with just under 12 laps still to go. And it's at this point that I start panicking, because I've been pushing with Fuel Mix 1 this whole race, not really thinking, oh, there's no fuel sort of discrepancy and that we have to think about fuel saving or anything like that. Oh no, we do have to fuel save, and it's at this point that I have to quickly decide what are we going to do, because as you can see in the mini-map in the top right, there's 3 of us, Santala, myself and Rouge, who've all pushed and seem to have forgotten any sort of fuel saving element to this race. And now we're going to decide, do I want to continue Fuel Mix 1 and just carry on, and then once I get low on fuel I just pit, or do I want to try and save myself and save fuel where I can? And as I'm coming around the bank corner now, I'm trying to think back to when I've done Daytona races in the past and how long the pits are. And to my knowledge at this point, I couldn't completely remember, but I feel like they're quite long pit stops. And I feel like if I want to have a chance of getting something good from this race, because my only chance to have a go at this race, I have to stay out. So I decide, after going around this corner, I want to put myself in the infield, go into Fuel Mix 6 for the infield section, because this section is probably the area where you're probably not needing like your top speeds as much. You'll probably just wanting to reduce your traction, reduce your your loss of traction, and try and just get nice traction out of corners. So that helps with Fuel Mix 6. But that's going to really hurt us in this infield section, and we're going to lose time to Santala, and lose time, and Rouge is going to gain on us behind as well. So we've really got to try and make sure that we don't lose too much time in this infield section, and we get onto the straights, we put it back into Fuel Mix 1, and hopefully if we keep it Fuel Mix 1 for the straights and 6 for the infield, that should be okay for us to save enough fuel for the race. That's my thought process at that point. Coming to the end of lap 6 here, we've got just under 8 laps of fuel remaining with 10 laps to go, so we are 2 laps below what we need. And with us being in Fuel Mix 6 here, we're 1.3 ahead of Rouge and 3.8 behind Santala. And that's kind of like being around the same margin. We haven't really lost, we haven't really gained time on either. So I think they're also fuel saving now at this point. I think they've probably realised themselves they needed to save fuel. So you can see Rouge is now 2 seconds behind. You can see that Santala is still 4 seconds, and it's keeping very close together. But as we come through this corner, Santala's staying the same distance, but I think Rouge is slightly moving ahead, and back end wanting to step out once more, as per usual with this car. Really was just stepping out and wanting to just send us to Narnia, and keeping it in Fuel Mix 1 here with 7.7 laps, 7.6 laps of fuel remaining. Still got like just under 10 laps. It's not looking very good for us. And coming through this section here, we're 1.2 as we go in, but as we come out, we have gained up to 2 seconds almost on Rouge, and we've cut the time to Santale in front to 2.5. So that section, that bus stop chicane section, very much my strong point, and that was kind of a theme for this race. So I was maybe slow on the straights, but I could really game all the time in that bus stop chicane section, and it was definitely one of my stronger areas of the track, and I was able to gain a lot of time through there at all points. So we got 50% fuel remaining. We're on lap 8, so that's what, 9 laps left, 7.3. So we're still, even though we fuel saved a lot on that lap, still got a lot of fuel saving to do, and I'm starting to decide maybe I need more fuel saving. As you can see behind us, Rouge is now 7 temps as we go into fuel mix 6, when we kind of get out a peak speed hit. We're 6 temps. 6 temps to us is the smallest gap we got to. But then, as you can see, we gained a whole entire second there on him. So that just reaffirming to us that each lap that is our strongest point, and we'd be okay going through there at whatever speed. We'll still gain time incredibly. Now you may have noticed throughout these laps, there's been a flashing light. And that's Rouge behind us trying to distract us, I think. Or that could be us. That could genuinely be my headlights just flashing as well. But I have a feeling that that's not my headlights. I think that's Rouge behind me. And we take this turn 3 horridly, I'll be very honest. And with us being in 6, we can't really keep ahead. So we look behind to Rouge here. He's getting very close to us because he's clearly in fuel mix. Yeah, he's definitely him flashing. And we go to the left and he's flashing. And we look back, and I'm going to have to apologise there. I've not seen. I couldn't see it back. I didn't have the proximity up. That probably was my fault. And if I had the proximity up, he may have been up my inside. I think props to Rouge there for backing out of that move, because we could have both been in the grass and sent ourselves to Narnia. So I apologise for Rouge there for that mistake on my behalf. But it gave me a kick on the backside of what I needed to do and keep an eye out for. So I started using the proximity a bit more from there on in. This going on to lap 10 now, just to start lap 10. Still got what 5.8 laps when we got 7 laps left, so we're not looking. It's getting better, but still not looking healthy. We've got a decent gap to Rouge behind us. 3 seconds to Santala. As we look ahead, Santala's just forgot to brake. Excuse me, I don't know what that was, but he just forgot to brake and allowed us to take the lead of this race. So starting in P10, we're now in the lead, and it's been a fantastic time for us, but the fuel saving is still, and you may have actually heard a massive shunt there, and that's our good friend Rouge. He's decided that instead of taking the corner, he's going to go straight into the barrier, and that might have been his fault, or it might have been someone else's. As you can see, the Austrian driver there quickly getting onto the back of Santala. He may have been a culprit in that, but I can't be 100% sure on whether he was or wasn't. But going into this section, this probably was the worst time I'd gone through this bus stop section. I definitely did not hit the apex as much as I could, and the Austrian behind, while I'm in fuel mix 1, he's still gained quite a lot of time on us, but the way he's like gained so much, he's literally come from absolutely nowhere. It leads me to think that he's not really fuel saving as much as what maybe me and Santala are. And yeah, as you can see, I look behind and he peels himself off into the pits. He's got 18% fuel, so he definitely was not fuel saving here. So we're 33%. We really are 5 laps of fuel. And got what? 6 laps left, and going after the midfield here, we have decided, instead of going up into fuel mix 1, we're going to stay in fuel mix 6, because fuel is critical now, and we need to look after this fuel. And while we may lose time to the guys behind, fuel is #1 priority right now. We need to get to the end of the race. Pitting is not an option, and staying in fuel mix 6 for at least a lap now is crucial. So going into start of lap 12, instead of staying on the fuel, we put the proximity up, because we know that Santala is getting closer to us now. And as we're going into lap 3, we look behind, he's looking maybe for a move, but no, we drop a tyre into the grass, almost lose it, and very close to ruining our race there completely. That would have been putting it straight in the bin. Thankfully, we had kept it under control. Santale being very close to our back end. He goes to the inside, doesn't, then goes to the outside, slights to lose it, but if you look at the right, he manages to slightly keep it, just about keep it under control. Again, the back end for Aston wanting to step out at every given opportunity, but Santale manages to stay within touching distance of us, and we're slowly allowing the third place driver to come back towards us. But on this straight, I know I'm a sitting duck. I absolutely know I'm a sitting duck. I really am tempted to go up into fuel mix 1, but I just want to save as much fuel as I can. And with it being lap 12, I know there's a whole race still to go. So Santale goes ahead of us here, and our good old friend, the Frenchman with the name Jeff, is gone past us as well. We're okay with that. We're okay with letting these two through. We've hit these apex a bit better, and just we're going through that second part, we almost collide with the back end of Jeff, and so close to sending us both spinning there. We both managed to keep it under control, and I've kept it in fuel mix 6 here. Now as we cross the line, there are 4 laps remaining, and we have 4 laps of fuel remaining, so this is good. We can now start to think about not having to fuel save as much. We still need to fuel save a bit because we want to have enough fuel at the end of the race if we need to attack or defend wherever position we're in, but fuel saving is not crucial right now, and that is exactly the position we want to be in. We don't want to be fuel saving with 1 lap to go, because we'll just be a sitting duck again when other people are pushing potentially. So yeah, we've got Santale here and Jeff in front of us, the top 2 currently. I'm not entirely sure what the fuel situations are for both of these drivers. I feel like Santale is in a similar state to us, but however, I don't know about Jeff. We go on to the end, midway through the end of the infield section of lap 14 here. We have 2.6 laps of fuel remaining, which equates to about where we are on the track. 2.6 is about where we are on the track. So we're just out of fuel slipstream of the cars in front. So once we get to gear 6, we put it into fuel 6 to save more fuel. I'm looking at the fuel bit and I completely miss my braking point, but actually turns out to be really good. But just a bit too good, because as we go into that second part, we do receive another 0.5 second penalty, and at this point I think my race is over. We're what, 2.5 seconds off the lead. Santale's pulling away even more every second. It's like 2 seconds by the time that we get to the penalty line here. Jeff actually pulls into the pits, and you'll see here as we pass our good old friend Jeff, he's no longer a threat to us, that Jag, but we're still got 2 laps remaining, 2 laps of fuel remaining in 6 in the infield, but 3.6 to Santale ahead. And it's at this point where we have 2 laps of fuel remaining, a lap and a half to go. I put myself into 1 just to test the water, to see how much fuel I lose going around this back straight. And we started at the start of the straight, we were 3.6 behind. But as we're coming up to the bus stop double chicane here, we see we've almost gained 8 tenths on Santale here. So he must have been fuel saving quite a lot on that back straight. We absolutely nail the bus stop chicane. We gain another 4 tenths on Santale. Keep it in fuel mix 1, going around the home straight now, and going from 2.5, going ever so quickly down every second, going down by a tenth, half a tenth every second. Quickly keep on going down. We then, once we get into the 158 miles per hour, put it back into fuel mix 6. We're still gaining time with the momentum of the car here. He's still very clearly not got a lot of fuel, not got as much as us, and we've gained what, like 3 seconds almost in the space of like the long straight. So I'm starting to feel more and more confident that we potentially could be in a position here that we could get something from this race. He goes wide, getting on the marbles, his back end stepping out like no tomorrow, and he's making use of a whole circuit going as wide as possible to get as much grip as he can and much acceleration as he can to get away from us. 6 tenths is the gap. There is a back marker in front, but thankfully it's ghosted, so what should not interfere with us. Because I don't know if it's ghosted for him, because it doesn't seem like he's okay and happy to overtake this back marker. he seems he's very tentative around, so I'm not sure if on his screen it's ghosted. It is for me at least, and that's a good thing. But as we're going onto the straight now, we've had it in 6th for this infill section because we just wanted to keep in touch. And because we have now, we can now put ourselves back into fuel mix 1. We have a lap of fuel remaining with half a lap to go. So fuel is starting to become less and less of a worry now. And as you can see, Santala is not going quickly at all. And it seems like he's not at any fuel to go. Get the Glimsy up, he backs off out the corner. We go straight through in the bus stop chicane. And you know what this sound means. We're in fuel mix 6 because we wanted to save as much fuel as we could. But it seems that Santala just has nothing to answer with. We have 4% fuel remaining. Fuel mix 1 up to the line. Still gaining time and time. I'll let it play out from here. There we have it, guys. A beautiful win there, 10th to 1st. Please leave a like. Please subscribe for more Gran Turismo 7 content with the notification bells on. But yeah, a beautiful 10th to 1st race there. That worked out beautifully for us. And please check my socials out in the description. There will be more streams coming to you from next week onwards in a more regular basis. It's been a bit of a sketchy time at the moment. I've been quite busy, but it should be from now on. Have a nice period where I'll be able to get some more regular streams going for you guys and videos hopefully as well. So make sure to leave a comment as well below, and I will catch you all in the next one. Later.